The 16th of January, Rabbi Furst, Mishna Berura. And I'm going to go away.
Good luck.
Okay. All right. All right. Good morning, Elliot. Do you have the trooper from Rav Moshe that we're working on, Elliot? Tzvi?
Chelik Alex Simid Lamed Gimel.
I believe so. Let me check. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, got it.
We started it last time. If you want, you can pick up start from the beginning. They'll bring you up to par.
Okay. B'dvar Mechale Shabbos b'Farhesia Le'inyan Mesias Kapayim. I guess this is the question of whether someone who is Mechal Shabbos b'Farhesia is allowed to duchen.
Right. Exactly.
Okay. Hine Mitav Ke. I don't know what the Rosh Tovos means.
That the Torah's kavodcha. The Torah's kavodcha. Kid Torah's kavodcha. That's a reference to the person who wrote the Shuvah Torah.
Oh, okay, fine. B'davar Mechale Shabbos b'Farhesia Mesias Kapayim. Kabalti, I received this letter about the question. Umash lo hoshafti kihu me'adirim shekasha ledavar b'zeh. And the reason I haven't answered it because it's a very difficult question.
Right.
About kashiki balti mikisvo hasheni. But when I received, I guess your second letter,
Right.
Shemifatzer bil cheshev ani mashiv shalo yechashdini kemizulzal hasvashalom bekavod Torah so.
So basically, what Moshe is saying is he got the first letter, but he didn't answer it because it was a very difficult thing to speak about. But when he received the second letter urging him to answer, he's answering because he doesn't want him, Chas v'sholom, to think that he's mezalzel in his in the one who's writing in his the honor of his Torah. But he's ignoring it. He doesn't want him to think he was simply being ignored.
Okay. V'hinei midina, and it's by din afshe mechal Shabbos b'Farhesia he kemuma la'akum. He's somebody who's mechal Shabbos b'Farhesia is considered like a mumar la'akum, is worshiping Avodah Zarah. Umitam zeh sarei achronim deposol in this crime, and because of this, the achronim decide to pass or possible him to do Nesias Kapai, do duchening. You could Isa be Mishna Berura or Chaim Simin Kuf Kaf Ches Sifkaten Kuf Lamed Daled.
Right. That's what we learned, and there the Mr. Berura says basically, in short, he says a Machal Shabbos, but for Hesi is a din of an akum and cannot duchen. That was basically the psak of the Mr. Berura.
We can argue with this.
Yes.
But Tova, well, ki lo klala hu l'kol hadvarim, because it's not lo klala hu. This is not the general rule in all cases.
Right. There's not a general rule in all cases.
V'ain asusi ata biyad laharich.
And I don't have the time now to elaborate.
Ach ech shenema halashitas harambam she'oved avodah zara posel afil ase Asvila say tshuva, and he's mentioned that the sheet of the Rambam that says even somebody who's over the voter zora and does tshuva is going to be usher from duchening.
Once he actually became a heretic to a voter zora, even if he does tshuva according to Rambam, he can't duchen anymore.
Okay. For tshuva, the key yislu gam mechali Shabbos shavu b'tshuva. And for the same reason, we would disqualify people who are Mechal Shabbos and did tshuva. Zevadai lo nitein lahamid klal. This we don't have to say anything more about this.
You're not forced to say this at all.
Okay. V'im kain chazinin shel inyan nun nesias kapayim enok oved kachavim. So it comes out, or Moshe holds that the Indian of whether something can duchen or not has nothing to do with avodah zara. It's not like avodah zara.
That's right.
What does that mean?
So it's true that a person who's Mechal Shabbos, right, is considered like an akum, right, and he's puzzled for many things, but whether you can apply that rule to Nesias Kapayim, because the reason why a person, if a kohen, as the Mishnah Berura brought down, if a kohen was he served the voter zora,
right?
So it doesn't make sense according. There is a machlokas. According to those who say even if he does tshuva, he can't duken anymore because those hands which were used to serve a voter zora cannot be now used as a medium for the bracha of Kadosh Baruch Hu to come into this world.
Sure.
Plus the Jewish people, because those hands were used for a voter zora. There's another opinion that says if he does tshuva, he can do it. Okay, but so the question now is that when we say that a person's Mechal Shabbos, it makes it like an akum, the voter zora. Does that mean that it's actual being oived of voter zora, right? Or it simply takes on the status of a person who would be of oived of voter zora, but it doesn't make him actually as if he is doing a voter zora. Right?
Okay.
He has a status, a din, a halacha of being of a person who's doing a voter zora, but it's not that he actually becomes a person who actually does a voter zora. So if you say he only has a din of a person who's a voter, not that he actually did a voter zora, so it could be a makam to say that he could still be nosa kaparim, he could still do it. Because he didn't actually worship a voter zora.
Okay. V'tamu pashat, and the reason is clear. The ha in this case, afla vodazar gufay, even to actually doing a vodazar, hazinin chalokim besof menachos. You see in division at the end of menachos.
Well, there's a difference of opinion in the Gemara menachos.
Right. The b'shchita s'akum, that somebody who shechs for avodah zara, after chayav misa, because Rika is whether or not he's chayav misa, just like somebody threw blood for avodah zara would be. The aser habehem, and the animal would therefore would also be aser. Mikol makom kiven delo have shira slow missile. Since he did not,
since he actually didn't observe the avodah.
Since he didn't do a service that,
Right.
so Rab Nachman is not going to apostle him.
Right. And he's kind
of because
he did these avodas. but he didn't actually, it's not considered actually serving the Avodah Zorah.
Okay. V'af Rav Sheshes Aser, and even though Rav Sheshes who was Aser's this person, Dafka b'mezid mishum nasa mishras la'akum. Something you did intentionally because it's like he's serving Avodah Zorah. V'tam zeh moda Rav Sheshes b'shakat b'shogeg, and Rav Sheshes would agree that if he checked it accidentally, the Cain Pasuk Rambam, and similarly the Rambam Paskins Peretes Mavias Hamikdash and Hilchos Beis Hamikdash Halach Yud Gimel V'tam Zeh Lo Shayach B'Shabbos, and that reason doesn't apply on Shabbos. Shekol Inyan
To a person who's Mechal Shabbos,
okay. Shekol Inyan Hadimyan Shabbos Akum Humitzad Shinira Kofer, because the person looks like he's a kofer, rebelling against Hashem. Kedeperish Rashi Bechulin Daf Hey Shezehu Af B'Shochet L'Avodah Zarah. So somebody who checks for Avodah Zarah, Kamo Kazorek Af. It's like somebody who throws the blood for Avodah Zarah. Ach Mikol Makom Imlo Haya Nachshav Omer Komelo Haya Nifsal.
Lo Hayik Nikshav Komer. He's not considered like a Komer, as a priest for Avodah Zorah.
Okay. So he's not going to become apostle. Im Cain B'Shabbos. So somebody's Mechal Shabbos Lo Shayach La Cheshivu Komer Ein L'Apostle. That somebody's Mechal Shabbos. You don't think of him as a priest or anything like that. He's not going to be apostle.
Right.
Well, Cain Kol Shekain Nesias Kapayim Ein L'Apostle. Then certainly we would not ask him from doing the Nesias Kapayim.
Right.
We're not
So
possible
that
to
actually
do
consider a person who's Mechal Shabbos not really considered like a priest for Avodah Zorah, even though he's considered like a person who's Ovid Avodah Zorah in terms of his kefira. His philosophies are like that of a person who was a heretic and a denier, but he's not considered to be actually like a priest that's Ovid Avodah Zorah. So therefore, you can't apostle him from the Seas Kapayim.
The Afshalo Huska Rambam Chelik Chaluk Benesias Kapayim, and even that the Rambam doesn't mention it in the section on the Nesias Kapayim Bein Shchita Zrika, whether he does Shchita or Zrika.
Right. Even though the Rambam didn't mention a difference by Nesias Kapayim, whether it's for doing the Shchita or doing the Zrika, he didn't mention any difference about that.
Muchachim Lomer Somech Al Hadekasiv Sham. We can you can say that we can rely on what's written there. Ubirkas Bracha Kavoda He. What does this mean? Bircha Kavoda He. The bracha is like the service.
The bracha of Nesias Kapayim is like doing the avoda in the base of Mikdash.
Aha. Okay. Kadisa.
That's the Lechem Mishna.
Lechem Mishna.
Commentaries
Okay.
on the Rambam.
Right. Perak Tezvav. B'Tfilas. Tefila. Hey Gimel.
Belechem Mishna Perak Tezvav mit Hilchos Tefila Halacha Gimel.
Halacha Gimel. Okay. Okay. Meha Rambam Nishma Nishma, the Rambam mentions Shagam le Kuleyama Eno Kovid. Excuse me. Eno Kovid Achum Linyan Nasias Kapayim. Umela Yesh Lakshiru and Nasias Kapayim, and therefore we should. Af im lo shav kamo shekosher avar shar averos chamuras she'af kodem sheshav hu kasher nesias kapayim. Because it shouldn't be. It should be just like anything else, any other averos that he would still, if he did, he would still be permitted to do nesias kapayim.
But even if it was Machal Shabbos before Heresy, that shouldn't, and he hasn't done Shuv, he's not doing Shuv. You shouldn't puzzle him from the Siyas Kapayim.
Okay, ukamat she'al yedei zeh, and it seems because of this, zeborer ladina afshahu negadas rabosenu ha'achronim. This should be the clear halacha, even against the das of the achronim.
Right.
Okay, I'm getting over. Somebody else is gonna have to read. I can't. I'm getting over a cold. It's hurting my throat.
All right, fine, no problem. Thank you. Barry, would you like to take over, Barry?
I have to pass at this point. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right,
Apologize.
what are we reading?
We're reading in Rav Moshe, Igros Moshe. That could be the document you had previously. We're in the paragraph, about the fifth paragraph down. It says the first word is Gam bechadushi bararti.
Okay, I see it.
Would like to continue, Lou?
Okay, where in the paragraph are we?
Right at the beginning of the paragraph.
V'gam b'kedushay be'arsei b'tam ha'chalok b'shabas ha'hitz shivu. These are idol worshippers?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Gam also in his Kedushim, Rav Moshe explained the reason that the difference is between by a person's Machal Shabbos, he's considered to be like a non-Jew, he's considered to be like an Akum.
Bain Tina the Par Isu
Before Hesia.
Befarhesia, public.
Now, whether he's Machal Shabbos privately or in public.
Okay, Shila Korah is privately?
No, Shalakora means seemingly.
Seemingly?
Yeah.
Oh, so Tania is privately.
The reason for the chiluk, the difference between that by Shabbos, that he's considered to be an akum, considered to be a person's Machal Shabbos, seems to be a non-Jew, whether it's privately or it's in public. Shilachora, it seems seemingly, the explanation is
Aina Muvain Haim Gam Bitsina Bitsnia who Oso Ha Chomer Atzmo. So it's seemingly not understood. This is seemingly not understood. Also, in private, it is we are strict. with him?
But also chomer atzma, meaning the seriousness, right? The seriousness of Hillel Shabbos shouldn't really make a difference whether it's privately or publicly. In logic, why should there be a difference between a person being Mechal Shabbos privately or publicly? The seriousness of the Hillel Shabbos, from his own point of view, should be equal. It's still Hillel Shabbos.
I see.
So we're mostly trying to understand what the seriousness of being Mechal Shabbos before Heresy is. What's the seriousness about that?
Sheyesh b'farhesia mitzad Shabbat. There is in public the perspective of Shabbos, ula inyan kafira, and the matter of being a heretic.
Right.
Adarabba, on the contrary, Bitsina, in private, yesh kitsat yoter kafira. On the contrary, in private, there is little more heresy.
Yeah. So that's the question Rav Moshe is dealing with. Meaning, you take a look at two people, right, Barry? You have two people. One person's Mechal Shabbos in private. He comes to shul, right? He walks to shul. He prays with the minyan, right? He goes home, and before he makes kiddush, he lights up and smokes a cigarette. Right?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you have another guy that he drives to shul. So one guy is Mechal Shabbos before Hesia. One guy's Mechal Shabbos Betzina, privately.
Yeah.
Who is the greater kofer? Who's the greater heretic?
The private one.
Why? That's what Rav Moshe is suggesting. Why?
Why? Because he has the attitude of that I'm hiding, my Avera, but he's not ashamed to do it in front of Hashem.
Right.
So that's a that sounds worse to me. You're hiding from you're ashamed in front of men to light up your cigar, but in front of Hashem you think you're going to get away with it. That's a bigger avera than someone who's he does it openly.
Right.
I mean, both are terrible. Both are terrible. But the one who's sneaking, who are you sneaking? Who are you sneaking about?
Right. So that's what
are you getting away with?
Right. So that's what we have to understand, because apparently the one who's Mechal Shabbos before Hesia, the public Shabbos desecrator, is more seriously a heretic than the one who's a private Shabbos desecrator. But Rav Moshe is suggesting, like you understand, that it seems to be more heresy in private Chilul Shabbos rather than public Chilul Shabbos.
Right.
So, yeah. So let's see what Rav Moshe has to say about this point.
Okay.
He says, Adrabah. See, they're toward the end of the second line in that paragraph. Adrabah, the opposite.
Bitsina, yes, Katsas Yoter Kafira. In private, there is a little more heresy.
Right.
Kede Isa, that there is, what is this, Babak?
Babakama, as is brought in Babakama.
That as it,
Maybe you learned this, Gemara. You still learning Baba Kama?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, we're learning Baba Kama. We've been learning Baba Kama for a long time. Like about
Yeah,
5 years,
We got another 5 to go.
at least.
Maybe you learned this, Gemara. It's an iron test. Stop iron test.
Yeah, I think we did actually. Iron test is 79. We're on 80 something now.
No, so you learned this, Gemara.
Yeah. Interesting. Behilchos Bain Ganav Legazlan. Oh yeah, we did. We did a lot on the difference between a Ganav and a Gazlan.
There you go.
Oh, and we said exactly what he's saying. I remember we said that the one who steals secretly is worse because he's hiding from Hashem. The one who steals openly, he's not afraid of people or Hashem.
Right.
So we said he's not afraid of people because he's stealing openly. He's not afraid of Hashem because he's stealing because he's stealing. But the one who steals secretly, he's not afraid of Hashem because he's stealing, but he is afraid of people.
Mhm. Very good.
Right? Okay.
Very good.
Uh,
Oh wow! Wow! I'm so wow! So look what time it is. It's very late. Wow.
oh, sheesh.
Tell Rabbi Levitt we were learning the Gemara in Baba Kama. That's why we.
Oh, Rabbi, sneaky.
Okay, sorry. We'll have to continue this next time. Mitzvah Hashem.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, have a good day.
Thank you. Everyone have a good day.
Rabbi,
Yes. Yes, Lou.
for future reference, I learned yesterday about women participating in a mizuman,
Right.
and it didn't make any sense to me. The reasoning was that they didn't have a portion in the land, and that a meal leads to camaraderie,
Mhm.
and
Right.
both of those didn't make any sense to me. Why you would say that that's different for women and men? Because the women do have a portion in the land, it would seem, and the women participate. They just don't lead. They just don't count in the mizumah, but they still participate in the benching, unless you're going to say that the goal, the ideal would be that the men eat in one room and the women eat in another room, which I've heard some people do. I've never seen it myself. So my question is, what's going on here? If you want to make it a topic to discuss.
Well, women and men do eat separately. Let's say at a chasana, you go to a chasana, there's a women's dining area and a men's dining area. So I mean, there is practice like that.
Right. Well, okay. Well, we'll discuss it. Mitzvah Hashem. Bli Neder, we can discuss it. Bishop
Thank
Berura
you.
speaks about it. Okay, Bli Neder. Very good. In the meantime, have a good day.
Okay, good day.